What happens when you cross an LPS with the My Little Pony? I'm not sure, so let's find out. Welcome back, little pandas. Are you ready for this week's LPS transformation? Because I am. Last week, you guys voted for which My Little Pony character you wanted to see transformed into an LPS this week, and the overwhelming winner was Princess Twilight Sparkle. So let's get started making Princess Twilight Sparkle into a real-life LPS horsey. I have the perfect Twilight Sparkle colors: a dark purple, a vibrant pink, a vibrant purple, and a really pretty lilac color. I'm starting off with that super bright purple, and I'm putting a stripe right in the mane. And if you noticed, I made my stripe kind of curve around the front and across the back. I kind of wanted to give it a little bit of a different look from the other custom LPSs that I have been making. Now I'm going in with that bright pink and doing the same thing. And I'm going to actually put down another coat of polish to make sure that the color is nice and vibrant, and then do the same thing to the tail. Now these stripes that I put in, they're a little bit too thick, but that's okay. I'm going to go in with that really deep purple color and go over the bright purple and the pink to make those streaks a little bit thinner. Let's finish up the mane, getting this dark purple color, and I'll list all the paints that I used down in the description box below. When I was looking at all of the votes on last week's custom LPS video, Twilight Sparkle was definitely in first place, but it was really hard to pick a second place winner because a lot of you guys suggested Spike or her brother Shining Armor. But if you watch my channel, you know that I am obsessed with Spike, so I've actually already made an LPS Spike the fish and an LPS Spike the puppy. So I was like, do I really need to make another Spike? And then I realized I've never made anything with Owlowiscious, Twilight's pet owl. So once we finish up this custom, we are actually going to be making an Owlowiscious LPS. How awesome! So Twilight's mane is all colored in, but I did overpaint in a few places, so I'm going in with a Q-tip and a little bit of acetone to just clean up some of those edges, especially where there's just way too much paint. I'm gonna let that completely dry and then start working on her body color. This nail polish to me is a really good match to Twilight Sparkle. If you can see, it's like an orchid, but it has like a slight shimmer to it. Really gorgeous. I absolutely love it, and that's what I'm gonna be using for the body today. So I'm gonna put down 2 coats of this polish, and this color is so pretty. Now I'm just using nail polish because it's my personal preference, and I kind of just use whatever I have that matches the custom, and I just happen to have polishes that I thought were the perfect color match. So that's why I'm not using acrylic paint for this LPS, but I will be using acrylic paint for Owlowiscious in a little bit. So let's get the body all colored in and let that nail polish completely dry, and then we can start working on her eyes, going in with a little bit of white acrylic paint, and I'm just going to recolor the white portion here, and it's going to take 3 coats to get a solid coverage. Now I'm going in with a vibrant purple, and I'm going to shape out her eye, and I'm going to keep these eyes in the typical LPS fashion. So let's get this bright purple in, and then I'll switch over to black, put in that really large pupil, and then a lighter purple right in between the black and the dark purple, just because that is how I notice LPSs always have their eyes. So let's get this light purple line in here, let all of that dry, and then go in with some white for the light reflections. I'm going to give her really large light reflections, a big one in the corner and a little one down towards the bottom. If you want to, you can give your custom some little eyelashes, and so I'm just gonna put those in with some black acrylic paint. Now, the last 3 princess ponies that I made had glittery manes, and I just couldn't let Twilight Sparkle miss out on all of that fun. So I'm using the same top coat I used for Princess Celestia, and I'm just gonna cover her mane and her tail with one coat. Look at that shimmer. I'm gonna cover the entire pony with a layer of clear nail polish, let it dry. Let's get started on Mr. Owlowiscious. I picked out this particular LPS Owl for this custom because I liked the body shape. I liked that he had a little wing out. I thought it was so cute. I used a little bit of acetone to completely remove the original LPS eyes, and this part's completely optional, but I'm gonna use a little bit of Sugru, which I like to use instead of air dry clay because it doesn't shrink and because it actually sticks to whatever surface you put it on. And I'm using just a little bit of it to give Owlowiscious his big, bushy, tall eyebrows. So I got a little piece and I'm just rubbing it with my fingers, smoothing it out and pressing it onto the LPS. And I am positioning that right above the eyes. The eyebrow shape is definitely off right now, but that's okay. I'm just gonna let this Sugru dry for about 2 hours and let it completely harden. Then grab my X-Acto knife and super carefully trim those eyebrows down to make them look a lot more like his. So let's get all of these cuts in. I'm gonna start off with the sides and then just put in a straight line, and this Sugru very easily scrapes off of the LPS plastic. No big deal there. And of course, little pandas, anytime you're using an X-Acto knife, you're gonna want to get adult supervision or an adult help because you can cut yourself. I have before, and oh my gosh, it hurts so much. So be super careful with this step. I'm gonna round out the top and then put in a little cut. Now they're kind of a little bit too tall, so I might trim them down just a little bit. Look at how awesome these eyebrows look. Let's get started painting. So for the head and the body, I chose this color from Apple Barrel called Khaki, and I think it's a really good match to Owlowiscious. So I'm gonna completely paint his head and his body and kind of avoid the eyebrows. When I'm using acrylic paint, I personally like to put 3 to 4 coats to make sure that I get even coverage all over the LPS. So let's get 3 coats on, see what it looks like, and then maybe do a 4th coat. What's really awesome about this LPS is that I can actually perch it on something. So I'm going to mount Owlowiscious on a paintbrush so I can paint his body without messing up the paint job I just did on his head. How cool is that? That base color has completely dried. It looks really nice. Now I'm going in with a chocolate brown and I'm gonna paint his eyebrows, wings, and tail. Then go in with a little bit of orange for his beak and his feet. And let's see if this is a thick color. It's a little bit thin, so I'm gonna do 3 coats of this orange just to make sure I cover up all of that khaki color, and it is really starting to look like Owlowiscious. Now I have this very faint yellow color, and I'm gonna use it for his eyes. The original LPS eyes are like a weird shape, so I'm gonna do my best to make these eyes round and circular like Owlowiscious. I'm gonna use a color that's just slightly darker than the body to outline his eyes, and then we'll go in with my nail dotting tool for his actual eye. So I have some black acrylic paint here and my biggest dotting tool that I have, and I'm just gonna spread that black around a little bit to make the eye a little bit bigger. While the paint is still wet, I'm gonna use a very fine paintbrush to feather out some of that paint from the eye to create his eyelashes. This is so awesome. Let me do the other eye really quickly and then grab a little bit more of that color for the outline of the eye to give him a couple of lines in the eye, and then give him a few feathers on his body because it's looking a little plain, a little boring at the front, so I wanted to add a little something. I'm just gonna put kind of like little W's, upside down waves, however you want to think of it. I'm going to put just a couple on his chest. That looks really cool. Now I'm going to completely seal this LPS with a little bit of top coat, let it completely dry. Let's take a look at the completed customs. Here is Princess Twilight Sparkle as an LPS horse. She is so cute. Can't you just imagine her pulling a little wagon with all of her books in it to the library, you know, because she's an LPS now and she probably doesn't have any magic. And then Owlowiscious just flying along, checking her out. These are so cute. I love them together. Twilight Sparkle and her pet owl. Okay guys, now it's time to vote for which My Little Pony character you want to see LPS'ed next week. So down below, comment your 2 names and I'll go through all the comments and decide who the winner is to make next week. Thank you so much for watching, little pandas. Until next time, bye! You can follow me online to get the latest news and updates, like my Facebook page, facebook.com/MandaPanda Toy Collector, or follow me on Instagram at MandaPanda Toy Collector. Want to mail me something? Guess what? You can. Mail it to MandaPanda P.O. Box 2855, Humble, Texas 77347.